Hey everyone, it's Chris and welcome back to The Ridge. Well, now's the time to clean your garden, but before you do, learn from our mistakes. We made some choices we regret, and today we're breaking them down for you so you can get it right the first time. But it's not all bad. We'll also share what we absolutely love about our setup and a few pro tips that will make your garden a little easier to manage all season long. Watch to find out what they are. Join us.
Sweet Maple Ridge Farms. Come on down, everybody. Go!
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We appreciate everybody watching, liking, subscribing, and all that stuff. So let's start off with what you really want to know. What would we do differently? Well, number one, the door here is not wide enough. Now, it might look wide enough, and you can fit an F-350 through there. I can fit our Kubota tractor through there, but there's not a lot of room to spare. It's really, really tight. Maybe an inch on either side. I would have made this just a little bit wider. And while we're here talking about the door, the number two thing that we do differently is I'd make a stronger door frame. Now, this isn't too bad, and it's worked for us right now, and we haven't had any critters get in there, but and I can redesign it. I can make it better. I could put plywood up here. I could reinforce this with a little better wood by not using 2x4s and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, I was just trying to get this up, so it's not the prettiest thing. But yeah, I would make the door a lot stronger. I would use a lot heavier timber in order to do it. And I think this year I probably would, and maybe put a brace going this way also. So that's number two. Number three, everybody, is I wish I would have ran electricity over here. And I'm going to do it this year. You can see I ran water from here. We have water coming from here, from the sugar shack over there. We're doing a little maple sap boiling today. But so I have water ran over here, which is great. But I did not run electricity, and I very, very much regret it. The reason why you need electricity over here, well, at least we need electricity over here, is because electricity helps us combat our number one pest, which is the raccoon around here. And you might ask yourself, well, how do you keep raccoons out with electricity? Well, it's not an electric fence. It's not anything like that. We use electric out here. We put a radio right here during the spring, summer, and fall, and we have a radio running 24/7 out here. And we have found that the radio keeps raccoons and any sort of varmints out of your garden. They are scared to death of the noise, and you don't have to have it very loud. We just keep it on real low, and we keep it on all season long. And so that's why I wish that we would have ran electric out here, because every time we go to mow the grass, we got to move the extension cord from the sugar shack all the way over here across the lawn. So that's a pain in the rear end. So that's my number three. I wish we would have ran electricity. Number four, less raised beds and more open space. So guys, when I designed this, and I'll just put a couple pictures right. All right, guys, so here is us putting these raised beds together. Now you can see it was a lot of work to put these things together. It was a lot of lumber. We went through a lot of time and a lot of screws and a lot of lumber putting these things together. But also, one of the things that I underestimated was when you put raised beds in, you got to fill them with dirt. And we went through a lot of dirt filling these raised beds. So that's just something to keep in mind. Definitely, we'd cut back on the amount of raised beds. So guys, you can see that was a lot of work that I did. But and all these raised beds, they are great. They give you a wide variety of planting space. They let you grow lots and lots of cool stuff. And we have a ton of them. But some crops just grow better in the ground. And guys, these raised beds, they just make spacing a little bit tighter than what we'd like. So I wish that we would have done less raised beds and more open space. Okay, so now let's talk about what we love and what we got right. Well, number one, our watering system that we put out here is a game changer. So what we have is water running from the Sugar Shack over here. It's on all season long. It comes out from one of these pipes here, comes up here, and we have an automatic waterer that we hook up right here. And then we have these 4 hoses that connect to the automatic waterer. Each of these constitutes a zone. So zone 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what we do is each of these hoses are connected underground to each of these waterings. So this is zone 1. This here and a couple of these beds are zone 2. This here is zone 3, all the way down there to those beds. And then this here is zone 4. And so it goes all the way down there. And I even hook up an additional zone, zone 5, for the tobacco that we plant outside of here. So all those fire at a different time. So that was a very good thing that we did, was to put in our automatic watering system. The reason why you want an automatic watering system is because I don't want my garden to die or to get stressed out because I can't make it out here, or Miss Sweet Maple Ridge can't make it out here on, say, like a Tuesday night when we have something else going on and we can't come out here. So I want it to automatically water. I want it to do all that by default. So when we come out here, we can just enjoy it. And guys, here's the thing about automatic watering. You need to make sure that you get one with multiple zones if you have a big garden like what we do. This is 40 by 50. Do not attempt to water a large garden like this, or even a smaller garden, on only one zone. Don't think, and don't make the mistake in thinking that if you just have one automatic waterer, that it's going to water this whole entire thing. It's not. This part here would get a lot of water, and then that part way down there would get no water at all. You have to divide it into zones, and that is 1,000% the truth. Okay, and another thing that we love and that we got right, like I said, was the radio here for the pests. You got to have a radio out here. It will keep the pests away. We just have a little, chicken wire here to protect our stuff. And those little rodents, they will not come near it if you have that radio going. And guys, as we're talking about this, what's one thing that you wish you would have done differently with your garden? I'm sure you probably have some things that you'd like to change. I know with ours, there are some things that we'd like to change too. What are some things that you're seeing in our garden that you think I got wrong, or that I got right, or that you think that maybe we should have done differently? Post that stuff down in the comments, and guys, let us know what you think. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We really appreciate it. All right, guys, another thing that we did here in the garden that we just absolutely love and don't regret doing is putting a spigot for each of these beds. The spigots are really, really nice. They're easy. It makes it really easy to water your stuff as you need to. You don't have to have hoses ran everywhere and all that stuff. Use these spigots. All you have to do is just dig a little trench, and putting these pipes together is super, super, super easy. We put these pipes together, they're glued together, and they're really, really easy. And I got all this stuff at Lowe's. So we highly recommend just taking the time to run a couple water lines throughout your garden to make watering as easy as it can be, guys. You don't want to have to come out here and water your garden. I guess some people really like that, but sometimes we just don't have time to do that. So I want to make this as easy as possible for us. And everyone, talking about making things easy as possible for us, we also want to make coming out to our garden enjoyable. So what I did was last year, really the year before that, first we made this little lean-to structure here. These are old posts that I found back in the woods. This is just old wood we found laying around. This thing isn't perfect, guys. I just used scrap stuff to build it. You can see, look, I mean, we got this sort of piece together, but this thing has been perfect. Me and Miss Sweet Maple Ridge come out here in the summer. We put our chairs out here. We moved this fire pit to right over there. I made this little table. It's perfect for, a little afternoon snack. Perfect to put your drinks on. And we just come out here. We listen to the radio. And you know what? We hang out here. I like to think that the plants like that. We come out here and we're able to sort of just see what's going on. We're able to come out here and rectify anything that needs to be rectified. And we just really, really, really enjoy hanging out here. And when everything starts getting really nice, these grapes are going to grow all over this. You can see they already have. They grow all over this and make a real nice shelter. The sun starts to set in the summer from right over here. So before I put this in, we'd be sitting here and the sun would be here and it would just be baking us because it's coming right at us. But now that we have this trellis looking thing, all that's it just creates a really, really nice shady spot for us to sit and just enjoy like a nice summer evening out here. So we absolutely love that. All right, guys, another thing we got right in our garden here are these tomato trellises, these tomato supports. So when we first started, we used a pretty thin wire and we attached them to, we using these things we got off of Amazon, and these things are great, by the way. We attached these to our tomato plants for support, but the wire didn't work. The wire fell. So I ended up finding these in the woods. This is just angle iron. It's old rusty angle iron, but honestly, this works great. So I cut notches in there. There is a video, I believe, somewhere on our channel. I will put a card to it right there, about how I did this. But this is another thing that we did for our garden, and I definitely recommend you do it for yours too if you grow tomatoes. Having tomato supports helps a tomato to grow better. It helps to keep it off the ground, so it helps to prevent disease. It helps to get air through the leaves, so that also helps to prevent bacteria and mold and disease from growing. And it just gives you a better, more healthy plant. So that is definitely something that we absolutely recommend, and was an absolute game changer. And this bed here is where we plant our sauce tomatoes, our Romas, our San Marzanos here. And we planted an Amish paste last year, and this thing has been great too, guys. We even for like the determinate type plants that, kind of grow more bushy than anything else, having these supports to support these plants and keep them above the ground is absolutely it's required in our opinion. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's the video. If you want to be an OG Mapler and you want to continue learning how to rely less and create more from high atop the Allegheny Plateau, please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time out on the ridge.